Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. 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 Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo. Floral. Floral today. That we are. Hopefully you guys are having a good day. Hey Kumar, yes you may be. You know what's the one thing I forgot? Because I always forget something every life. Is I forgot my pen and my paper. Tisk on me. Kumar, I remember you. You're not that new. Good evening, Sarah. Hey, Coco. All right, so we got Kumar. What do we see for Kumar? Kumar, my dear, it seems like you've lost something recently of grave importance. I don't know exactly if you feel like things are turning upside down, but just know things will pan out. They always do. Hey, Jada, my dear. Thank you. Thank you, Sarah. It is the Deviant Moon deck. Okay, so we got Kumar. You're very welcome, dear. And we had Coco. Coco, I don't know if someone's passed or maybe a male figure that was once in your life didn't turn out to who they were supposed to be. Normally, when it's this way, it's normally meaning that an older man. If it's in reverse, then I'm going to assume that they were probably younger. But hopefully things tend to work out. Hello, Happy. Sarah, are you wanting a one card reading, my dear? Happy, same to you. Last time we did $10 for 5. So if you have any questions and you want to do 10 questions, that's fine. Not 10 questions, 5 questions for 10. I can do that. All right. So I'm going to write your guys' names down real quick so that way I can add you guys for the drawing. Coco. Babe. I think by now I could write these without even looking at the name, but you know how that goes. How are you doing today, Jada? Not a problem, sweetheart. Actually, if you wanted to, I don't know what your finances are, but we do got the 30-minute reading for 20 this week. So if that's something you want to do, because you're spending $10 anyway. Let's see, Jada. All right, sweetheart. Whatever one you do, it'll pop up on wherever you send it. I am doing good. I decided not to do makeup today, as you can tell. I woke up, and the only thing I've been doing is literally playing The Witcher. That's pretty much been my day. It's been a restful Saturday, which tomorrow, depending on the time I get back. I may not be on live tomorrow, but I'm going to try to work it to where I actually can. Hey, Lala. Because I got to go over my brothers. They got to finish this stupid garage. They've been trying to make it like heated and proofed and everything else. Yes, Lala, I will add you to the list. Jada, did I give you a reading, babe? I'm sorry. I'm kind of like out of it today. By the way, if anybody is new here, if you want a one card reading, all you got to do is just comment and then I add your name to this list. So I'm thinking about on the 21st doing the drawing, and then whoever wins, it's going to be valid in 2021. Because, you know, most people, new year, trying to figure out what the year holds, and you get 30 minutes for it. So I figured might as well use it for the new year instead of this year. The only part in the chest tattoo that hurt was when he was doing the shading, like right in here. Because right there is like the skinniest part on my chest because of the bone. But someone tried to pop out. Jada, Jada, Jada. Oh, dear Lord. All right, Jada, my love. Pick your card. 1, 2, or 3. I need to redo my nails. I do have other tattoos. I can't remember if it's this side. I got the vampire bites. I'm trying not to go against guidelines, but I got my daughter's name over my heart. 2. Knight of Cups. Baby, you are wore out. It seems like you're holding on to the little bit of sanity that you got left, and you're just hoping for something to give. But no, good things come to those who keep on persevering and keep on pushing on. Just keep doing what you're doing. I know sometimes it seems like, what's it for? But trust me, good things are coming your way, baby. I've also got a pentacle with tribal on my back with my husband's name over it. On my left calf, I got when my father died when I was like 15. So I had a friend who did backwoods tattooing, like the old school where they took the piece of the cassette and the guitar string. Yeah, that was fun. And I've had that one for almost 16 years. No, you did not. Happy Joy Joy. Oh, thank you, Jada. Give me 1 second, baby. I believe I gotta do la la. Hey, baby. Thank you so much for dropping in. Last night was horrible towards the end. Like, not to get gross. So, for any males out there who are watching this, like, I started my blood moon like 3 days ago, and yesterday was so fucking horrible. Like, after I got off this live, I was literally in my bed where I am at right now, and heating pad, Midol, the whole 9 yards. Like, it was bad. It hurt so bad. That's why I hurried up last night only after an hour and a half, because I'm like, I can't do it no more. But I'm in a stable environment. I've took Tylenol. Heating pad is on, so we should be good. I shouldn't have that issue. Like, I don't know if anybody else ever deals with this, and for those who don't want to talk about this, I'm so sorry. But it is life, right? But, like, have you ever felt like underneath the stomach where it just feels like something's just like, right? And that's where it was. Ugh, it was horrible. Oh, by the way, happy, happy, joy, joy. Card for you. Happy, happy, joy, joy. Happy, joy, joy. All right. We got quite a bit for you, Happy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I got 8 different cards that popped up on you, baby. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Pick your number, beer. Beer. Pick your number, beer. Meant to say deer, and I called you a beer.
Beer.
1, 2, 3, 4. Apparently, I need beer. Either that or an ancestor of mine needs beer. And there's only 2 ancestors I have that drink beer. And one was Timmy, and one was my dad. So either one, my dad's here, or my brother's around. So we got the Knight of Wands. I feel like there's been a lot of things happening either within your sleep or within your dreams. Like either you're waking up feeling exhausted, or maybe your dreams have been kind of leading you a weird way. I would meditate on it nonetheless, even if you haven't noticed it yet, to kind of see what you get. I feel like it's a journey. Like it's something to better you. There's something that you're looking for, and the only way to get the answer is basically what I call dreamscaping, which is like venturing, using the realm between your dreams and the realm of the spiritual realm to kind of like get you there. But I feel like you get almost there, and then it's like you get snapped back. I don't know if that makes sense or not. Sarah, I don't think I've done you yet, Sarah. I might have. Hey, Sherry, oh no, with the last name Kumar. So I'm going to assume that you're either the sister or, yeah. By the way, for anybody who doesn't have squirrel brain like I do today, who is in my list that hasn't been read yet? Because, Mommy got squirrel brain today real bad. It's like the last couple days I've been dreaming, but I don't know what the fuck I'm dreaming about. It's like I know I've went somewhere, but I can't remember exactly where I went. And I get almost to that edge of where I get a snippet of a remembrance, and it just like poofs away. So freaking annoying. So Sarah, how are you doing, my dear? Someone's got something to say to you. Who is it though? I feel like someone's been talking to you. Sarah, what do we got for Sarah? Hey, Michelle. What is it that Sarah needs? Sarah, apparently you're going to be going on a journey. A journey of understanding. Question is, what is the journey about? I need a little bit more context. Hey, Amy. Yes, I can, hon. Defeat. Chariot. Empress. Why does that look familiar? Oh, no. Give me a second, guys. Who is trying to get through? Sarah. Who's trying to get through to Sarah? Success. Tower. Either you went through something real bad, or you're about to go through something. But that doesn't explain as to who's speaking to you. And that's driving me nuts. Keep hearing like an older lady. Who is it? Who is speaking? Or a younger lady, maybe. Yeah, you're not helping. I don't know. It's weird. It's like when I looked at your name, it's like someone really wanting to tell you something, but I can't figure out what. New day is dawn. So if it's in reverse, that means that something from the past. Embrace the dark, so embrace the light. Not being patient and not embracing the light. I don't know if that means anything for you, but it's just weird. It's this overwhelming feeling like someone's got something to say but can't get to you. Balance. Someone distant, maybe a distant relative. Whatever it is, you got someone trying to come through urgently, and I feel like it's someone that's dead. But I'm not sure who. I want to say it's an older lady, but it's like distant. It's not like someone that you would have met. I mean, it's possibility. But it seems like when I think of distance, I don't think of space. I feel like it's more of a not close. Like we weren't close kind of feel. I don't know. Amy, let's see what's in for you. Love. I don't know if it's time that you need to love yourself or maybe something's coming for you in the amount of love, but it feels more of a self-care love, like a love of discovery of oneself more than a love of um, finding someone. And that was for Amy. So, Michelle, what have you been up to? Odd feeling though. Why would somebody want to be saying something? Money. Normally that's a nest egg, money, and an imbalance. Trying to get rid of the cheating ass. There's a lot of ways to do it. Not a lot of them are legal, but I mean, there is ways. It was so much easier back in the day. It's probably not good for me to say, but I'm just saying. So I take it you found out more, Michelle? Just know what I know. Star represents wishing to see Sun reveals the truth. That's devastation and knowing. On one hand, it's good to know, and on the other hand, is it one of those things where, like, if you didn't know, would you have been happier? Which you know you wouldn't have, but it's one of those things where kind of hope circumstance would be different. God, there's a lot of emotions. Someone know about it? The reason I asked that, let me see if I can find it again. Sorry, yeah. The reason I ask if someone knew about it is this card pops up, which this card is about lies and deception, in my personal belief, and hiding things from the truth. Almost like a celebration. I take it you and his friends weren't friendly. Which is sad. I mean, it's not sad because my hubby's had friends that I didn't like, which ended up screwing him over. Which is sad because on one hand, I'm like, I told you so. But on the other hand, I'm like, oh, he lost a friend. It doesn't sound like I'm being sincere, but keeps everyone away from me. Sounds about right. That way they're all on his side and not on yours, seeing the asshole that he really is. Then again, people know who's an asshole and how they treat people. Can't hide it when you got people that you've been friends with for years. Sad. Especially with a superiority complex that he's got. Welcome back. Or welcome in, whichever it may be. If you want a reading, let me know. You're better off, though. Now you just got to figure out your plan. Think about this. Think about it. Next year is a new year. The beginning of the year is the time that we plant our seed for the rest of the year. So plant what you want in the beginning of the year. And by the end of the year, you can pull the crop. That's how I like to see it. I do not blame you. I don't think you have that much longer anyway. Like what? Maybe a month? Maybe 2. Might be a week or 2. But I'm leaning more towards a month. Even though a week or 2 would be realistically probably better, but it's a road. Keep on putting your intent into it, thinking about it every day, working towards it. The more energy you put into it, the more time you think about it, the more that it is put into the universe to come to be. At least that's my firm belief, at least. I don't see any obstacles coming. That should prevent you. Let's see who we have. For some reason it's showing that we got 5 people on here, but that's a weird thing about YouTube. It shows, like, for me that there's 5 people, but then it doesn't show who the 5 people are. So I don't know if it's a glitch. I noticed the last couple months it's been glitching, which has been weird in itself. Hey, that one lady. But it's time to raise the energy and get excited. Question is, what do I have a lot to say? Look at the old. Protecting oneself. I don't know why it keeps on. I found your channel popped up today in my feed, Hecate Info. Yep. There's a few things that I want to do to show what I want to do for Hecate's altar. I just got to wait until everything matches. Yeah, I don't know why it's not showing you guys in, like, because I get this little tab over here somewhere. You guys can't see it, but I can. And it shows, like, the participants, but it wasn't for some reason. It was being odd. Yeah, if you have any questions on Hecate, you're more than welcome to ask away. That's part of why I do these lives, because it gives people a chance to ask questions when we're not reading and stuff like that. And have a more of an open dialogue, because I can do things in the comments, but, you know, I see it like this. Like, there's probably people out there who also have the questions that you do, or may be curious about, and it allows people to learn from other people's questions that they may have not thought of. Granted, somebody's got to be dedicated to really go through the lives and watch them for an hour and a half. I started my journey not too long ago, a year, and I was curious about her. She tends to bring a lot of people in just for the sheer fact that what she's associated with. And if she's someone who's really calling to you and you feel that connection to learn more and want to work with her, she's pretty easygoing. The one thing of advice is just do what you promise. And as long as you do that, she'll be with you. I mean, she's like any other deity, you know, they ask for certain things occasionally, and, you know, they expect you to grow even when you think you're growing, and they throw a curveball at you sometimes. Nick's appeared to my boyfriend. Nyx is an interesting individual. But I will tell you this. If you work with Hecate, you'll eventually see her mother. And you'll see other ones who are similar to what she does. Which, to me, it makes sense that Nyx kind of appear to your man. Just because of what she rules under. Also depends on what path he's wanting to follow. Which, honestly, Hecate and Nyx work well together. but not many people want to associate them with each other. I don't understand why. It's like the misconstruedness of Hades, when Hades is just the overseer of the dead. He's not death itself. Oh, so he was open during the fun hours of communication. Man, that had to be. That's not that far off of my birthday either. So if he was born at 3 a.m., that means 3 is significant for him. Anything that multiplies by 3 or can be divided by 3 are numbers of power for him. How many of you guys have actually had your natal chart done? Like full in depth? I know there's a few that do it for free. Be a good place to start. Oh, and the great thing is you can also do coupling charts with the natal charts so you can see. And speaking of natal charts and charts with the zodiac, and this goes in for love or relationships of any kind. If you guys want to be more aware of exactly what's going on around you and what signs work best around you, you should really dive deep into your astrology, because you'll notice that certain signs will act a certain way towards you, and that men and women are a little bit different when it comes to signs. So how I always see it is this: like every sign in the zodiac, we have 12 signs. But when you look at a female under that sign and a male under that sign, they may be similar, but they're going to be completely different in the attributes in which that sign represents. So let's say you have a problem with Aries men, but Aries women you have fun with. You never had a problem. There you go. Completed an online one. Did not know enough about it, to be honest. There's a couple of places where you can learn about it. I think next year I'm going to try to do a series a month next year. That's kind of one of my goals, to pick a certain topic, and then that'll be the topic of the month. And then I will make videos each week on that topic, and then we'll move on to the next. So it's kind of like a lesson plan in a way for those who are interested. Because even though, like, let's say, for instance, we do astrology one month, astrology in Greek mythology can vary from astrology in Chinese mythology or different regions. And then you got mythical creatures is something I wanted to do as well. Let's see, there was astrology, mythical creatures. I really wanted to dive more into Hecate, but I figured that I'm going to do at least one video a month on doing different things with Hecate, just as a recurring thing every month. On, our months that we have celebrations, that'll be brought up during those months on how to work with her as well. And since I started working with Hades a lot more, I am going to start making rituals that are designed for Hecate as the goddess and Hades as the god aspect, which I mean, depending on who you work with, you can always switch it up. It's never set in stone, you know what I mean? And if I can get the camera that I want to get, I want to record some outside rituals because there's a few people that I know have a few ritualistic sites that they've built themselves. And I'd like to go out to them along with a few other places to do some video shooting because it's hard to talk about the crossroads when people get confused about crossroads because, you know, it's hard to find dirt path crossroads nowadays unless you're in certain regions of the world. So here in Ohio, Kentucky, Indiana, and I'm thinking about even going as far as maybe Pennsylvania next year, as long as COVID is just not, you know, rampaging like it did at the beginning of this year. And doing on site locations of where the location was, if there was a rental fee for it, what you can do there, different herbs that are native to that land, if you're an herbalist as well, and just different techniques and different scenarios with working with her. Because you can tap into a lot. A lot of people look at Hecate and they think about her necromancy, which is a part of her, and so is, you know, her prophecy. But one of the things that people forget about is her connection with the sea. So I think if everything can go good, then maybe that would be something to do, is a sea ritual of some sort, and showing you guys how to do that. Necromancy has a lot. Like, necromancy is the art of working with the dead, speaking with the dead, helping the dead cross over, manifesting things that are either dead or what would be a good one to say? So, like a while back, and this was like, it's either the beginning of this year or last year. I can't really remember because it's been a while. But I had a spirit in the house that I would consider a banshee just because of how it looked, the way that it acted and things like that. So necromancy took a part in that for me to get rid of it. It's also, you know, working with bones, working with you can work with artifacts with it. Like, there's a whole thing that you can do with necromancy. And there's just so many different types. Like, Louisiana's necromancy is a little bit different than the necromancy that you would see in Greek or so on. Oh, you're fine, honey. I seen your message earlier, so right now I'm just kind of rambling and talking about different things for the channel. And if anybody wants readings, just let me know. But if you guys have any suggestions of things that you want to see, I actually have my notepad here, so, you know, I can write it all down, and just kind of helps me to see what you guys want. I know some of you were talking about classes, which I can do private classes. I do have a Patreon, which I need to start using more, where I want to put lessons on it. What is your karma? Pick a card filling. Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, you know what would be a good idea. What is your karma? Pick a card reading. Ooh, that sounds nice. And also, I want to get into safety too. Because last year in Ohio, we had, speaking of the dead, you can channel a message from my late husband, Edward, not trying to be greedy. Speaking of the dead, can you channel a message from my husband? I can channel the dead. Um, that's not an issue, but they have to be wanting to come through. I tend to like to do those more in person. And if I don't do it in person, then it's one of those things where I either need an item of that person. That way I can channel their energy. It's a whole thing. Like, it's not something that I can just pull out of the atmosphere. Some of the dead want to talk and some of them don't. Um, what's scary, dear? So it just really depends. But that's another thing we could get into is, the different things that you can use for graveyard dirt and things like that. Contacting the dead isn't really that bad. Like, most of the dead that I've talked to has been pretty decent. The only one that I ever had an issue with, and it was kind of my fault. I should have known it, but I was being stupid, I guess. There was a gentleman in our community who um I was a friend with, or I would consider I was a friend with. Like, I would check up on him and stuff. He was highly depressed, like super depressed. And something just kept on telling me to check up on him, check up on him, check up on him. And at one point, some shit went down and he ended up taking his life. I found out about it and spoke to his ex-wife. And it was weird because when it happened, all I could hear was a man going, I got her now. And I'm like, what the hell does that mean? I shrugged it off, right? And then that's when I heard the news, and I was talking to him for a while, for about a good week. And the energy that he had was darker than when he was alive. It got to a point where I had to block him from the house, and it wasn't him doing anything to me. It was just the things that he was saying. Because even though we can't hear the dead can still manifest things with their energy, because that's what they are at that point. They are energy. Hey, Angel. And some of the things he was saying, I was like, that's going to manifest some things. And now, if it was me and the husband only living here, that wouldn't be an issue. But since I got my girls, which, by the way, my oldest is freaked out about all the ghosts. My youngest one fucking loves it. And I'm like, yeah, that's the last thing I need is this dude being, yeah. Can the dead take objects? The dead can take objects, they can move objects, and they can give objects. If you look it up, I don't really know what the terminology for it is. I guess you could call it coinomancy. I don't know. Don't take my word on it. But have you guys ever heard the saying, a penny for your thought, a dime for your time, a nickel as a warning, and a quarter for the journey, or something like that? And each of them have a symbol, and each have a meaning. Like, a while back, all I was finding is dimes. And it was acknowledgement from the people I loved, letting them know, hey, we're still here. Here's some dimes. And, like, it was ridiculous because we always use a card. And I'm like, there's no reason why we have this many dimes in this house, because we don't really ever pull out money. So it was just odd in itself. And after the first two, I was like, okay. I see what's going on here. And that's something else that I'm going to make a video about, that I'm going to remind myself in a note, is coins and magic. Because magic and currency is a thing like no other. Coins, money. Like in the Greek path, when you die, you need your coins to get across. Funny, you were talking about protection spells yesterday, and I was watching a video about how to protect my house. If I'm correct, which I think I am, there should be a video on here. Either there's a video on here on what I do to protect my house, or that's something that I plan to do, and I mentioned it once or twice, and I never brought it up, which I'll just go ahead and write it down. I know I've talked about a few things. It's always hard, though, to remember which ones I've talked about and which ones I've actually done. Not sure. I guess it would be easy for me to go through and look. By the way, for anybody here who's looking for readings, all you got to do is just comment and let me know. We're kind of just having a talk about different videos you guys would like to see. Thank you, Gabriella. I appreciate it. But with house protection, there's multiple things you can do. If you do sigil work at all, and you got paintings or pictures, you can always paint your sigils behind your stuff. What's another thing? I mean, you can always put crystals around the house. A crystal grid is always good to have. You can put horseshoes around your house, keys around your house. Just be careful. Make it a key dedicated to protection, not unlocking. Hey, happy ever after. La la. I don't know what you feel like you've been defeated in recently, but you got to keep your head up. Just because you didn't win the battle doesn't mean you're not going to win the war. So keep it up. Palo Santo, black tourmaline, sea salt as well. Now, there is a recipe that is kind of like the Greek version of holy water. And I know I'm going to make a video about that because I've been looking into it more just to see the different variations between Rome and there was another one. I can't remember it, but I think it was Rome, Athens, and Greece. There's 3 different variations, plus olive oil as well. Yeah, basically it was using, the simplest way to put it is it was sea salt and purified water, but it had to be purified water from a lake, a stream, or a river, or the ocean. And I moved my light. So there's no like, can I have a message to Marvel, Navi? I believe Happy Ever After is first. What do we got for Happy Ever After? And that's one. Then another one was actually taking an olive branch and putting it into the water and having it blessed under 3 full moons. Happy Ever After. Sometimes looking down on those around you does not help the journey ahead. There's much that you have to learn. And I don't think you mean it intentionally. I just think it's like kind of things that you're raised on. But if you keep on going Eventually, you're going to find your missing piece. Just don't burn every bridge on the way there. Uh, that happened. Whoa, wait. Um, you're very welcome. Olive branches also, once you get done, if you can dry that branch back out and you hang it over your front door, like you know how like you have your door edge right here, hang it right over, and that's actually brings in good luck and peace within the home. Angel wings. I know there was someone before you, Angel. Give me a second. I'm not trying to be rude. You guys have finally started to come out of the woodworks, and I'm like, oh, we're here. Who was it? Oh, where are you? Gabriella, I'll give you a reading. What were you saying about angels though? I had a mini read just to see if I need to know anything. Ever done something so embarrassing that you see 4433 and 22 on your angel? Ha, that's funny. Okay, Gabriella. Yours ain't that bad. You're actually on a pretty decent path. I mean, you got a little bit of something to work on, but you know, who don't? Pick your poison. 1, 2, or 3, or 4. Gabriella. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro. Cuatro it is. You're a fool, my dear, but in a good way. You like to see things as a new adventure, which you will be starting here soon in the next coming month. Just remember the past will follow you, but you are the one who defines the way that you go. Do not let things from the past come up in your new path and bug you. That was the old you, this is the new you. You progress forward, keep on going. Angels have a funny way of doing things. But you also got to remember if we're speaking of angels in the biblical sense, they're not all, light and fluffy, and they're actually pretty terrifying. Christianity made them light and fluffy, but not all of them were light and fluffy. But if I had to pick an angel of choice, I've always been fond of Michael and Ariel. Ariel. Yeah. Can you expand on that? I can expand on a lot of things. Basically, don't reopen old wounds. Don't go poking old sticks into things that have calmed down just because your curiosity takes you. Number is 45. Oh, Jesus. Child. The angels. Blah, 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 blah. It just depends. Like, if you actually go and look, either that or I'm going to have to find it and do a video on it. But some of the angels were kind of like a hybrid between a winged bug and a really skinny looking thing that is hard to explain. And that's just one of them. Like, some of them were like, they're just ridiculous. Look up the true, what would be a good phrase to put into Google? True description of angels. There's actually a book out there that has it. I'm going to have to find it. So when I make that video, I can recommend it. I actually learned this year because, I don't really work with angels that much. I acknowledge them. There's some I have, but it's not like they've appeared to me in angel form. It's more of like the presence. Sorry, I'm writing this down. Angel wings. I did not read that right at first. I read Michael is a warrior and I want him inside me. I'm like, what? No. Hey, Libra. I actually need to start writing people's names down. Forgot to do that, so give me a minute. Well, you never know. People are weird. We've all seen worse. After the whole moon hexer thing, anything's possible. It's like the lady who got married to a ghost and then they got a divorce. Mavi. Mavi, I forgot about you. Mavi, I got a question. Is your name Maverick? Oh, so we've been writing down names for... So that way, if any of you ever tick me off, I can curse you through your name. No, dear. You get a 3. A 3. Here's the symbolism of 3. I guess I'm going to have to light something for Hecate. No, you get put in a drawing for a 30-minute reading. Mav, I asked you a question. So if you answer my question, I'll give you a reading, but we're going to barter here for a minute. Because I think you are who I think you are. I have a book on angels, Return of the Angel. What do I owe you for the reading? You can feel free to donate whatever your little dark heart desires, Sarah, at the Divine Witch on cashapp. Spelled just like the channel's name, and don't forget the $sign. Give me one. Thank you, Gabriella, for spelling it out for me. I'm trying to catch up because, like, my vision's been off today. Who, when, blessings. Ooh, Phoenix. Hey. Don't ever ignore her again, please. Thank you. That's how I read that. I don't know why, but... The queen has spoken, motherfucker. No, my name blue mean in Turkish. Give me a second. It does mean blue. I've learned a new word. My connection. I didn't ignore. My connection went. Don't you ever ignore. Would you like a Mavi? You want to go swimming in the Mavi? How do you say deep? Deep. That's what I need. I got the Mavi. I just need the deep. Tell me how to say deep in Turkish, and I shall give you 2 cards. I have a question in general. Can you feel my energy through the screen? You're one of like a dangerous little squirrel. It looks sweet and it's cute, but it's dangerous. You're like Pikachu. Gabriella. You're like a Pikachu.
Pikachu.
I know. I loved Pikachu. Pikachu and the Cat-O'9. By the way, for anybody who's wondering or reading, I guess I'm going to give Mav one. He took too long to figure out the word deep. I just wanted to be able to say deep blue in fucking Turkish. God bless it. Mav lovers. I feel it's more of a love with yourself, but you should invite others as well. It helps. Dareen. Oh, Dareen. Dareen Mavi. Want to go swim in the Dareen Mavi? I'll never fucking remember it. But at least you all learned something new. That's deep in Turkish. See, we learn new things here, kiddos. We learn new things. Deep, 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 deep water. I wonder whatever happened to Coco.
What?
Maybe. Can I teach you Spanish? Fuck yeah, you can teach me Spanish. I would fucking be honored.
You already got 3 rings.
I want to, please. I want to, please. Okay, it took me a while. I had a moment. Oh, God. Please. I wish to please. I don't really know what I would like to learn. I took 2 years in Spanish. I can only remember a few things, though. I'll have to think about the things that I want to learn to say in Spanish. I'm learning Latin. That's some tough shit. Latin is some bullshit. Because the way that you think it sounds is never the way it sounds. Curse words. Punta. What's the one for balls? Piano. It's like piano, but with a B. Fuck, what is it called? Cholos. No. Something. Mav, if you paid attention, you got the card of the lovers, so you need to start loving other people and love yourself. Or love other people as much as you love yourself. That was your card, my dear. Oh, snap. By the way, here, I'll type it in here because it's probably a little bit easier. I am out of it today. I wish I could snap out of it. I need coffee. There was one ritual I was in where another gent was speaking Latin. And it was fun. But the only thing that I don't like about being in Latin, like not Latin speaking circles, but like actual Latin, not like Spanish, which is I love my brujas, but is Latin rituals, because you never really fucking know what's being said. You're just assuming that it's going to go the way it's supposed to, and you're not going to get possessed or die from a spirit. You are entrusting one person that you know not to fuck up. That's a lot of trust from one fucking person. So I've only been in one circle once where Latin ritual was used. Once. And the whole time, there was 2 things that happened. One, my knees were getting weak, and I'm like, you're taking my fucking energy. That's bullshit. And then the second thing that happened was I seen fucking crows overhead, and there was no fucking crows. But I seen the shadow and the trees, but there was no fucking crows. So I did not like that, and I stepped the fuck away, and I observed. I guess I did. You caught me. No, I just kind of let the universe do what it does. You know how that goes. Thank you for the purple heart. I appreciate it. Flocks of crows above me. Crows can be a symbol of multiple things, and that's what gets me. Like, when it comes to animals and symbolism, Some animals you only find certain things about. Exactly, Phoenix. That's why you gotta watch what the fuck you do. Let me see if I don't got you written down. That's just a lot of trust, you know what I mean? To give someone the power of language and you're lost. I have a few Latin books, but I'm not really versed in it. It is a protection. But like the point I was initially trying to get across was when it comes to animals and association, when people see crows or ravens, the first they want to think is either of the Norse gods or the Celtic gods. And normally it's either Odin or the Morgan when there's deities more than them two that are associated with crows and ravens. You're very welcome, Mav. I love my crows. For a minute, I thought it said cows. I love my cows.
Oh, they're sacred in some places.
They are. In India. I don't know why I dragged it out. This year, I'm challenging myself to a lot of different things. Crows bring messages. You just got to listen. They're not always a bad omen. This much is true. Normally, when I see a crow, means a few things. It depends on how frequent I see him. If I see him frequently, then someone's going to die. But if I see him just randomly, that means I've got a message that's going to be coming in the next 3 days. What did this year teach you? Right, and crows bring messages and just got to listen. It's not always about omen. I read that already. So far this year, I learned a few things. I got to see what Hades' realm looked like. That was interesting. I got to learn about where the four winds meet. That was interesting. I got to see another spirit in the house that I hadn't quite seen fully. I mastered the ability to bring upon my visions. I ain't gonna say mastered, because if you say mastered, that means you've learned it all. And honestly, I haven't, but I've learned to trust myself a lot more. Like I've always had this doubt in my head that maybe the things I think I know aren't the things that I actually know. It's just things that just seem to fall that way. And I've realized the more that I put into my work as a witch and the more that I put in towards working to know more and understand more of my goddess, that it allows me to enjoy life more. I kept seeing a light brown frog with spots on its back in my yard for days. I was wondering what light brown frogs and spots represent. Frogs could represent. See, there's a myth. Now, I can only go on what I know, and what I know is a little bit of everything.
A little bit of everything.
Little bit of everything, but a
that's
master of
little
none.
that.
You know what I mean? It's kind of like making a roux. You know the basics, but everybody's got their own twist. But there is a goddess in the Egyptian pantheon who is associated with frogs. And it has been, was it the Egyptian pantheon? It might have been Sumerian. I don't know. I've read so much about Sumerian, Babylonian, and all of them. It all kind of just goes together. The time of old is what I like to call it. Anything before I was alive, time of old. But there was a goddess who had frogs associated with her. And it was believed, I think her name sounds similar to Hecate, and they believe that it is Hecate within that pantheon, but she has different attributes than she did in the previous ones. So I would look into that. Now, as far as the whole spot thing, frogs come in many different varieties. So I can't really give you a clue there. Phoenix. I feel like Persephone right now. Speaking of Hades, that's the one thing I've never really felt a connection with Persephone, even though I feel bad that I don't. Because, you kind of figure that they go hand in hand, and I should. But there's never been like a connection. Like there's a respect, but I've never had the connection. Oh, Gabrielle, I always love a good kudos. Honey, when it comes to the path of the underworld, like it's been crazy this year. Like just the different things that I've gotten to see, and then you get the different gods and goddesses, and you've never it's like being blinded. You know what I mean? Like have you ever read something about a deity but you never got a certain aspect of that deity until you got introduced to another deity, and it's like a whole world fucking opens up and you're like, no, it makes sense now. I still miss that coffee, by the way. You're not a bunny, but you're a coffee man.
Not a bunny today. Well, it was part of the day.
And that chicken, it's going real good.
I know. Look how it cooks.
You're starving me. I've only had two pieces of buttered bread.
Toast.
Close enough. Exactly. Shoot, he's making me hungry. I'm over here like I'm hungry. I just want a chalupa.
Chalupa?
It don't sound bad, but I'm not really feeling tacos. But actually, I think I have a burger.
You do. You can chew on that until then.
Yeah, a burger. Thank you. This is a portion of the video where we snack. Ugh, it's not a good one though. But what do you need to fill me in? Quesadillas sound great. I need to go to the grocery store. I did manage to get toilet paper though today. But like with the whole underworld thing, I feel like it's allowed me to get a little bit more perspective.
Yep. Open a new pop there too.
Oh, I see. Thank you.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, good for you, dear. Put her in her place. The bread was gross.
Oh, I was about to say, what did you disassemble it for?
So this is what I'm left with.
I'm going to start on the food right now.
When you deal with people who think they're using you, put them on the back burner and don't burn the bridge right away. That's another thing that I learned this year. Because people are useful, and I don't want to make it sound like, using them for your own personal gain. But sometimes it's good to keep people close. Doesn't mean that you have to, do their bidding, but you can still keep them close. I've one thing that I've kind of been debating on, and I feel like I can speak bluntly about it here. You know what I mean? But even if coronavirus does go away next year, I'm not really sure if I'm ready yet to do live events. Like in person planning and stuff. It's just so stressful. Like before coronavirus came, like we would have an event like once a month or once every couple months, and then our big event, Witch in the Woods. But if things get back to where we can actually, get together, like in my area, you know what I mean? Like, it's just so stressful doing live events. And here's why it's stressful. One is stressful, planning the event, getting everything for the event, and answering all the questions, even though you've laid out everything in detail, right? And then when the event happens, because you guys can clearly tell that I can read people, it's not hard. And when you have people show up and they have this like vendetta or they're not fully comfortable, it just throws the vibes completely the fuck off. Because your mom cares about you. She doesn't want you to get kidnapped in the woods by some witches. I would love to do live events in other places. You know what I mean? It's just so hard around here because, like, I get people that say they'll help, but like my coven, they do great. Like, I couldn't ask for better people. But finding the appropriate help within the area that matches the vision without it seeming like a power struggle is that's where it's difficult. Because in my area, like my town, there's not really that many other pagan groups. But as far as around, there's ones that have been around for like 20 plus years. And it's hard to schedule between their events and our events. And then you just get some assholes in between. Exactly, Phoenix. There's always that one. Like, literally, we had two people show up to a Witch in the Woods one year. No lie. These girls didn't communicate with anybody at the event. They stayed in their tent, except when we were giving a prize away. And then they ignored their little girl and let her do whatever the hell she wanted. I don't know how many times I was running after some little girl that wasn't my child to make sure she didn't hurt herself or get lost or whatever. Because we're literally in the woods. And then that morning, she was saying that she was hungry. And I'm like, here, have this. It was like one of those breakfast muffins or whatever. She's like, my mom says I'm not allowed to have it. I'm like, well, your mom's been sleeping for 3 hours and you need to eat. So she's got an issue with it. She can take it out with me. That's what I said. Then we had one event, Guide to the Gods, where a girl told me, I'm not going to be there for the event. Just figured I'd let you know. She literally let me know the day of the event. Take her off the roster. 2 hours later, she shows up. That's why that's why I've been debating about it. Right? Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, our events are kid friendly. Like, there's only one that isn't kid friendly, and that's Beltane. Just because Beltane is normally the coupling of adults. And no matter how much you think your kid is straightforward or mature, there's laws with activities that grown-ups do that children should never be around. Yes, you may, my dear. You can suggest whatever video you think. Right. And then what else? There was Beltane. That's the one where we don't have kids. Which it's kind of hard promoting a Beltane event that isn't kid friendly. So normally during the day we do a kid portion of it, and at night we do the grown up version. But then you got people thinking that the nightly version is just a orgy, and it's like it's not like that. It's literally, if you have a partner and you wish to do that, that's fine. But no one's sitting there telling you you have to fuck everybody in the event. Like, we don't roll that way. Like, no. Psychic abilities and how to awaken them. Since you can't do people specifically, do you have any funny stories with the live events? Honey, yes, I do. They're kind of a mixture, kind of between funny and maybe I can't let you up here right now. Mommy's talking to people, and you're dangerous. My little chuckly wishes to be part of the live. You cannot be part of the live. No. Give me a second. Come here, you little shit. This is as far as you get to go. Anyway. Oh, I love you so much. Beltane for us, 4 witches in a circle, including my daughter. But after the woman she's seen, how sweet and loving my daughter was compared to her trance, it went south quick. And her spirit turned quick. I love you, but you must go, my little Snickers. Mommy is busy. And I know you just want to cause chaos. Don't let her cuteness fool you. She is chaos reincarnated. She'll try to eat my cards and everything. You cannot eat the pencil. Hey, Alex. Give me 1 second, guys. I don't want to blow out your ears. Alex! Get her. She's a runner. And shut my door afterwards because I'm trying to do this live and it's hard. Because I can't say no. She's too cute. Oh, man. That's how you let them know you love them, by calling them a little shit. That'd be me and my brother every birthday. He said, Various say something insulting, and he turned and he said, "Hey, 13." But yeah. Let's see. What's one of the funniest things that I can think of that happened? Well, there was one time where an acquaintance now, but was a friend then, got drunk and called himself the old, what was it? The ancient fag witch hag. That was a joke for a while until we got tired of the joke and we respected it. So that was a thing. He was really drunk. And that's the thing, like, I don't get drunk during ritual unless it is a ritual that calls for me to drink a substance that is mind altering. Um, so that is one thing I'm kind of a stickler about. Like after rituals, when we're celebrating, drink until you puke and see colors in it. Like I don't care. But beforehand, not so much. This was one of those times where he got so drunk it was bad. He almost landed in a fire. That was entertaining. Um and then there was another time, the same gentleman. It was after Beltane, and we didn't get to do our ritual that night. It was horrible because it rained and wouldn't stop. And it just, you know how like when your ritual just doesn't happen, and the next day you're like, there's no salvaging it. We just enjoy this moment as an outing instead of a ritual at this point. That's kind of how it ended. But he was in a tent, drunk, and they had a lantern. Now, let me mind you, he was my favorite gay, and I loved him so, along with his boo, as he called him. But they forgot to turn out the light during a drunken escapade. And the thing about tents when they are lit up is they leave silhouettes. Needless to see or say, I got to see what they were working with and how they did it. And at that point, I was getting drunk and I'm like, oh, it's a show. And the next thing I hear from the tent is now they're getting into it and putting on the show as I'm laughing drunkenly. So that was one Beltane. Was helping direct that energy to the gods, so to speak. So maybe it was a ritual just without all the bells and whistles. And I totally agree with the mugwort tea. There are some things that I will not do. I do not do sweat lodge journeys because I do not trust um, the journeymen or whoever else is there. And if I'm going to be puking and crapping all over myself, I need to know that the person I'm leaving in charge of me is safe in more than one way. Yeah, you know. Um, for me, when I know how rituals work, is I get a sign. I either see an animal that is associated with it. I will either feel an entity walk through me, or I will get confirmation. It always happens within 3 days. So it's either within 3 minutes, 3 seconds, 3 days, somewhere in that period of time. I'll either have a dream or like there's multiple signs. It's not just like one, you know what I mean? Like some people, there was a ritual we did, and my husband, God love him, he follows Athena, but he's more of a follower of the path than practicing the path, if that makes sense. Like he's more of one to, he learns by listening and seeing, and he'll participate, but it's not like he leaves a lot of offerings. He does things here and there to keep her appeased and things like that, but it's just how he is. And so we were doing this ritual, and it wasn't Sam Hain. It was the one before that. It's Maven, I believe. Was it Maven or was it Lug? I think it might have been Lug because that was around the summer. And for that ritual, we had spell jars to get whatever we wanted, stuff like that. I did mine, he did his, and our other two members did theirs. Well, we each seen an animal. And it was really weird because this was around the time that I hadn't really um, dedicated myself to Hades. But as soon as I did my ritual, my candle burned out over the jar that I had. Um, have you ever seen those black bugs that come out? It was fucking huge. Like this thing was like gigantor. Like you know them little bug YouTube fighting videos? Like this would have been the monster mayhem of them all. So I was doing a money ritual for mine. And it was like not even a few seconds afterwards. This thing starts crawling all around my jar. And I'm like, okay, I've been accepted. That works for me. And the one girl, she seen a cat, which now is officially our cat, Snowball, who refuses to come inside but loves the outside. So we just take care of her and she takes care of us. And then the other gentleman, he got his confirmation sign and my husband hadn't got anything. And he was like, well, you know, it is what it is. Maybe it'll take a while. And one of the girls had said something like, well, we all seen our confirmation. Did you get yours? And you know, it's stupid. It's something small, you know what I mean? And it really, I don't think it was meant maliciously. It just sounded maliciously like, ooh, we got ours and you didn't, you know what I mean? I don't know why I'm telling this story, but maybe you kind of get what I'm saying. Like with magic, not everything has to be instant when it comes to signs and if it works and whatever. But as long as you're putting the energy forth into it, no one should have that feeling of maybe their spell didn't go right because they didn't do something or this or that, or my spell worked quicker than your spell. That's just child's play. And hey, Smith, so when it comes to how do you know a ritual is done, you will know. You will be able to feel it. You will be able to tell. You'll have your own signs. And it doesn't mean that when you do a spell, it's got to happen like that. To have that mentality of it's got to happen now and get my confirmation like some fucking Disney movie, you're in the wrong path if that's what you're looking for. So, like, depending on who you work with, if you're working with a certain deity, you'll look for confirmation of that certain deity, different signs and symbols of them. Or maybe after every ritual or spell that you do, you have that one thing that always happens to let you know, hey, it went through. That will be your way to be able to tell. I got to be completely comfortable and my spirit has to lead me. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like when you do your spirit lodge journeys or when you're doing past life or if you ever venture into spirit communication or using someone as a human Ouija board, pretty much, you got to be careful and there's got to be trust. If there's no trust, it's going to fuck up right away. And that's why you got to be careful. Some people forget about it. And that's why some people are like, well, why don't you do rituals that are like this or do rituals that are like that? Well, Smith, it depends on what you want. If you want a 30-minute reading, I'm giving 30-minute readings for 20. If you want questions, it's 5 for 2. But if you get the 30-minute reading, you get for $20, you get 30 minutes of asking me whatever your little dark heart desires. So it's up to you on what you want to do. Do our spirit guides ever get mad? Fuck yeah, they do. They're just like us in a way. I think it's more, though, like instead of being mad like we do, I wish you had super chat. Me too. That's why I'm trying my best to get to 1,000 people as far as followers. because then it'll unlock the super chat and all that fun stuff. Unfortunately, I'm not cool enough yet to get all the bells and whistles. It would be nice, but unfortunately, no. But the bad thing about when you use super chat and things like that, like where you can send in money and stuff like that, is YouTube will take a percentage of that, just like TikTok does. It's a whole thing. I haven't heard they've been frustrated with us. I have been lied to. You'll get there very soon. I'm hoping so. Like I told my husband, I'm not pushing it. Things will happen when they happen, and I'm here for the ride. Plus, the more people we get, the more these one-on-ones, like I'll be able to talk to you guys, but it won't be as personal as it is right now. And it's kind of nice being able to see how you guys are doing each day and everything. But like I was saying with the whole guide thing, like with guides, I see it like this. I don't see it as they get mad in the sense like we get mad and get vindictive, but I see it as they get more frustrated. Imagine talking to a wall. The wall can't speak back. The wall can't hear you really, but you have to keep on trying to guide them. That's how I feel like it is for them, for us. Now, most of the time, guides are not supposed to intervene in certain things, but they will protect you. So there's been a few instances I've had where I've been pushed, pulled, yanked out of the way by something that wasn't there. They normally don't give up on you. Some people have had instances where they've let go of their guide, and normally those people end up having a hard life, which I don't wish upon anyone. And Smith, if you're wanting a reading, let me know which one you're wanting to do so that way I can pull out my cards that are beside me. The first one, I was pregnant and I was being protected by a dog that literally was trying to rip my face off because there was a guy behind my mom's house that had this like little mechanic shop, and he had this dog that he made mean. And I was walking down the alley one day with my significant other, which is now my husband, and I'm walking home, and the next thing, this dog lunges at me. I didn't see it, and I got thrown into a fence. My husband's walking in front, happens to turn back, and starts going off and trying to protect me against this dog. So that was the first instance. The second instant was I was walking one day and went to go across the street, had looked both ways, everything was going great. And then I went to step out, and when I went to go step out, I guess a car was coming and I hadn't noticed it, or it was flying, and it felt like someone just pushed me back. And when that happened, then one of these people that were in the houses, seeing it happen, came out, asked me if I was okay. They were really sweet about it. And they were a spiritual individual. And we ended up having like a 30-minute conversation about it. I never did get hurt, but I was close. I'm not flipping you guys off. I don't know if it'll show on here or not, but do you see that scar? Right about right there. That one I got lucky on, because if that would have went deeper, I would have lost my finger. With that one, what had happened was one day I was walking with a friend, And when we were walking, this dude popped out and he's like, oh, talking some shit. And I'm like, dude, we don't got time. So we went to go move on. Well, this idiot ends up pulling out a knife and went to go at her. And I went like this. And when I went like this, he sliced me right there. He ended up running. And then I ended up going to the hospital and getting stitches. Which that was a great phone call, by the way. When you're underage and you're bleeding and you can literally see the tendon squirting out blood, they will not sew you up until they talk to a parent or guardian. All right. Does the ex miss her? Okay, so that answers that one. Let's go on to your next one. Give me a second. And we'll play a talk soon. Okay. So this is both of your questions combined for Smith. We've got the High Priestess, which the High Priestess is one of protecting herself, preparing for the worst, not letting her walls down, and making sure that she's safe. So this would be you in the situation. This would be him trying to dig up more information, trying to come forth, trying to bring up things of the past to try to make a new way. But unfortunately, what happens is once this conversation starts to happen, we get the Ten of Swords, which is a lot of emotional damage and a lot of hurt. So what that tells me is that there is going to be a conversation where you two are going to talk, but it seems that the conversation is going to lead to you being more hurt than finding, a closure. So if you were to have a conversation, I would lay out some ground rules like, hey, we can have a conversation, but this doesn't need to be one of malice. We need to talk, have a little bit of a closure. We don't have to be rude. You know what I mean? But does he have feelings for her? So we got the Eight of Wands in reverse, which normally this is harvest time, getting rid of the things that no longer suit us. But I feel like there is some things that need to be said from his part. There is feelings still there for you as far as on his end, but there's not been a way for him to be able to complete it and either get rid of them or to allow those feelings to come forward. Give me a second. I'm going to write down some names that are coming in. Chryslin, I think is your name. Hello. When you get a chance, can you post how to donate? Yeah, not a problem. Is it possible to highlight so we can just click it? Yeah, it should be able for you to be able to highlight it. Give me a second. I'm sorry. I'm kind of behind. If you're looking to ask questions, they're $5 for 2 questions, or you can get a 30-minute reading for $20. Now, if you just want a, apparently my shit's not allowing me to type. That lets me know that my kids are trying to use the internet. There we go. If you're just wanting like a general reading, which is a general reading about your life, you get a free 1 card. Now back to what I was saying with Smith. But Smith, here's an extra one. Sometimes we hold dear to the things that don't hold dear to us, which is pretty evident from the stuff that you're seeing. And I'm pretty sure that there were some signs as well. Um, and it's hard to let go of the things that we cared about and we loved because we can't understand the fact of, we put so much time and effort and caring into a situation that maybe we're the kind of fixer uppers where we work through our situation instead of watching things crash and burn. But I would take it as a lesson learned. Even though it hurts, you probably gained some good things from it and along with some bad things as well. But always take the good with you and let it be a good memory and just leave the past in the past as far as the bad situations. You can't change how people are or how they're going to react to you. You can try to work for a better conclusion or maybe a resolution, but sometimes it just doesn't work that way. But, the good thing about being here is, you're able to talk and have someone to listen that's not going to be biased on your situation. So hopefully that can offer some comfort in some way. Um, by the way, since we are doing the 20 for 30, if anybody does want to do that, but they want it more of a private reading instead of like during a live, I'm able to do that through Zoom. You just got to let me know. Well, it was kind of like the other day. We had got a lovely lady that came in and was talking about the twin flames. And it's like, twin flames is one of those things that a lot of YouTube channels will use to kind of draw you in and speak about it being all bubbly. But twin flames are not always happy go lucky. I mean, they are two pieces of a puzzle, but like every two pieces, there's always a difference in the sides. Um, So it's one of those things where people got to really read up on it and kind of get through all the mushy stuff first to kind of really look at it. Not saying by any means that this person is your twin flame, but I'm just saying it just kind of reminds me of, holding on to something that may not be the best. And this right here, this comment by Smith, is exactly what I was talking about. Scorpio men don't really work well with her. Scorpio women, different story. Hi, I'm a Scorpio. How are you? Mwah. Aw, Michelle, what two questions can I answer for you, my dear? You throw some coin to your Witcher. I swear, I want to dress as the Witcher in one of these lives, or maybe Siri. I think it'd be fun. If my knee would not act like it's going to go out of place, that would be great. Just be careful when Scorpio women get together. They work well together to get other people, but sometimes it just doesn't go well. Too much strong energy, too many different opposing ideas. You guys could swear off men, and you and Smith could just hook up. I mean, that's always a possibility. There'll never be a wrong size. Just saying. It's a whole new world. What is your quest? A quest with a question. Quest. What is your question, Gabriella? I'm keeping you on my mind, dear. Your mom won't allow you to what? Not sure what you're asking permission for. Donating or what? Cancer me with Capricorn women. Your thoughts? I mean, it could work. Cancers tend to grow on whoever they meet. Um, it's one of your guys' charms. That's why normally cancers tend to be um, well liked in groups. Okay, Cancer, me with Capricorn women. Your thoughts? Hook up with another person, men. Are you talking about men or women now? Because there's two different variations in it. And either way it comes up, in the end, it's your body, it's your choice. It's how you ever want to live. I mean, your mom's only just trying to protect you, which from what I've seen in the lives, she loves you. She's just looking out for you. And you can't blame a mama for being like that. Because even though I am a very sexual creature myself, I am very protective over my girls. And my oldest thinks she's 30 and a dom, and she's like a little kitten that is lost in reality. Literally, there was a boy that I guess she was trying to impress in some form or way, and it did not go well when mommy found out. Not so much for the point of stopping her to grow, but there's consequences to the actions. So you got to be careful on some of the things you do. And now there's laws in place. So, back in the day, like in the 90s, when we had dial up, which was horrible, by the way, um, you could share photos of yourself with other individuals and not have to worry about it so much. But now, in this day and age where everything is shared and there's more social media than you can throw a shoe at, you know, you got to be careful. Not to mention that the laws, even minors can get charged with um, peddling that kind of stuff, images, even though they're minors that are within themselves. I don't know. It's a whole thing. So that's why I try to warn my children, or my oldest, I should say, on what she does and how she does it. We are fun, especially when we're in. Oh my God, it was so bad last night. Okay, so check this out. So mommy had some medicine time, and it was of an herbal persuasion. And because if you go out my bedroom, I have a deck. That's where mommy does her back medicine at. And I was on cloud nine after that point, and it was so funny. My husband was like, "We gotta cook. We gotta do this." I was like, "I don't gotta do shit. I'm loving life, and I'm happy go lucky." And it was one of those moments where you're like, someone's trying to get you up, and all you can do is the giggle fits. You know what I mean? And when I get into a giggle fit, I really get into a giggle fit. That's why one of my nicknames is called Giggles. But Giggles does not come out for everyone. You have to really get me going. And that's an in-person kind of energy thing. Sorry, I'm playing with my phone for a second. But yeah, it's fun times. So I'm curious because I don't think I've ever asked. I thought somebody said that they were from Georgia, but where is everyone at from state-wise in this live? How do you know if a bad spirit is attached to you? Well, if a bad spirit is attached to you, you're going to have a few signs of it. which attachments don't happen as easy as people think that they do. Sometimes you'll feel sick. Sometimes you'll get into a depressed, bad mood, which, finding out if it's spirit depressed or actual depression, that's something that, you're going to have to work through with a doctor and medication. If medication doesn't work, then yeah, it's more of a spiritual nature than a mental health nature. Oh, New York, New York. Hey. I've always wanted to visit New York. I actually got a couple friends up there. One of my friends is a metalhead, and the other one sings for a living. And then there's my cousin, but I never talked to him. Pennsylvania, you are a jump and a skip for me then. But if you're feeling ill, if you get this feeling like in the pit of your stomach, like dread, if you're smelling bad things, that's not your body or the environment that you're in, that could be a sign of a bad spirit. If you are saging and literally you buy one of those big bundles and it literally smokes all the way up, that's another sign. I am from Ohio. So I am like, I think New York is like what? 12 hours away. Pennsylvania for me is like 5 or 6, depending on what edge of Pennsylvania. Let's see, what else can I say about bad spirits? And that's the thing, like, depending upon the spirit, depends on the different things that you'll get. Like, we try to categorize everything between a good spirit and a bad spirit. But in reality, each spirit has its own way and its own signature. So it just kind of depends. Smith, that is correct. Manipulative, they are deceitful, they tend to lie. The only good thing about a Scorpio man is the thing between his thighs, and that's it. At least the ones that I found. And that's just a personal opinion. Now, if I ever meet a Scorpio man that changes that opinion, I will let you guys know. But as of right now, the only good thing they got going for them is maybe their penis. And that's if they know how to use it. Cancer men are very toxic. It's just like, I can get along great with a Taurus. But if you add logic with a Taurus man, I can't do it. They are very bullheaded. Very bullheaded. I'm not a fan of Scorpio men. Let's see. What is the other one I'm not a fan of? Aries men, it really depends, but they tend to... It depends on the Aries men, I'll say that. Aquarius men, same thing. Depends on the Aquarius men. But occasionally, I do like an Aquarius man. There was actually one I had for a few years. That was a great cat and mouse game. Pisces is what my husband is. Love is a scary fucking thing. And I thought about this the other day. About how, how like you sit there after you've been with somebody for a while and you start thinking about life and how long you've been with them, and you think about it in the years that you've been with them, and you're like, that's a lot of fucking time with one person. Not in the sense that, hey, I'm ready to be a hoe, but more in the sense of it's just a big amount of time for one individual, and you watch them grow and you watch them get older, and the things that attracted you to them, they may lose or they may gain some, and it's fucking weird. It's a mind fuck. And then the worst thing about love that I find, for me personally, is finding a love that is true, and that's past me speaking, like a love that is good to you, kind to you, and doesn't lie to you. But also a love that doesn't die. And that's the thing that scares me about loving my husband so much. It's because one day I know I'm going to lose him. And I know when that day comes, it's going to be one of the hardest days. And thereafter is going to be a really hard time on me. And no matter how much you mentally try to prepare for something like that, there's two parts of the brain that activate. The one that's like, you need to live your life in every moment and don't worry about what will be, enjoy what is. And then there's the other moment of, I don't want to lose this person because I know once I lose them, I lose part of myself. And then that scares you because then you're alone again. Not in the sense that, you don't have a partner, that's part of it, but it's a sense of having to be with oneself all the time and learning how to regain that power that you submissively gave to another. Because we do that with every relationship that we're in, we give up some of our power to the other person because it's a 50-50, right? Like, there are certain attributes about them that bring out the best in you and vice versa, but it's an odd feeling. It really is. But I figured this. I have 2 children that almost killed me. So if they throw my ass in a home, I'm coming back to haunt them. And if the hubby ends up dying before me, which I told him he can't, he's not allowed. But if he does, then I think I'm going to just start an old witch retirement home. So that way I can just have a bunch of old witches around, cursing at each other, drinking and swearing. That way, if I go down, I ain't going down super alone. I might do that. It would be fun times. Scorpios are sexual in general. Like, I'm very calm, but you get some tequila in me and get me around the right people and the right attraction, and it's just a fucking thing. You know what I mean? Like, there's parts of my room you guys ain't seeing for a reason. One, because the lighting in here sucks. And two, because my bag of tricks is towards the closet, not this way. I will help you run it. Woo! I'm starting the cult. I mean, the old witch retirement home. That'd be great, though. Imagine it. You have your patio out back that's heated with your little tables where you can see the outside, smell the outside, but not freeze or be hot with the outside. And then you have your tea and your drinks and your food. And then occasionally at midnight, everyone loses their clothes and no one knows why or cares. Seems like a really good plan. And then we hire one youngster to deal with all the animals because we all are going to have some fucked up animals. Like, someone's going to be running with a ferret. And then we got to keep someone from keeping us running around naked outside or we're going to get caught. Unless we have a place that has a lot of land. But then you run the chance of getting lost in the woods somewhere, which I guess would be the way to go, right? You get lost in the woods and that's the end of life. Microchipping old witches. Well, we got our youngster girls. I think we're set. I hear children. That is my goal. I would love to have a bunch of land. I know, my dear. You will let go of them. You just gotta give it time. Unfortunately, it's not gonna happen easily. But you are too beautiful, really, to be dealing with He don't even get a name. He just gets a sound effect. Because believe it or not, I tend to look at y'all, and you're all very beautiful women. So if anybody causes you trouble, just... It's like a little old lady. I guess apparently I strive to be a little old lady so I can hurl curses at anybody that defiles me or rubs me the wrong way. I won't charge run. I mean, you can always make him do the things you want, but I mean, then you're getting into things like free will and sacrifices you got to do yearly, and that's just a thing. Gabrielle, you seem like a spirit that would run naked through a field of lavender while carrying a machete. That's the energy you give off, and I love it. Least will be protected. But I got a long while before I get that old. I just have the symptoms of an old lady. True story. I love a green witch because God help me. I can plant things and they'll live, but there's some things that it just doesn't work for me. Like at one point I tried to grow morning glory and ended up with wildflowers. Don't know how the fuck that happened. Michelle, your energy is like a shot of whiskey and a very strong cigar. It seems rough, but it warms you up. If that makes sense. That's the energy I get from you. It's strong, but it's needed. But it gives you the wonderful things that make you feel all warm and fuzzy inside. At least you aren't a Pikachu. Hey, there is nothing wrong with a Pikachu. If you squeeze a Pikachu, they'll scream. And then they'll get really energetic. The hubby's a bunny. You're the Pikachu. She's a good shot of whiskey and a cigar, so she's basically like every 80s action hero ever with a set of knockers. So, like, it's tribal mentality. Poor Bunny. Bunnies always get sacrificed last. By the way, if there's anybody coming in here that actually wants a reading, let me know. I'm just gabbing it up on a Saturday night, which here soon I'm going to have to call for my bunny because my computer wants to die. Can energy change? Depends on what you're wanting to change. You can always take energy and manifest it to what you want and manipulate energy into doing what you need. So energy can technically change if you put the energy and you know what you're doing. Oh, thank you, my love. I don't know what I would be doing. It really depends. Just depends on what you want to manifest. The energy that you wish to create. Always think this. Whatever energy you allow in your mind is the energy that you allow to encompass your life. So that means if you live a life of dread, that means that you're always living inside your head instead of going with the flow. That's what I've had to remind myself. And I feel like it's brought me more enlightenment. But I'm going to tell you guys something, and it just dawned on me to share this with you. Have you ever had one of those moments where you start to realize things about yourself that are either rude or maybe misconstrued in a bad way. And then you're like, fuck, I got to do self improvement. I've had that happen recently, but I'm just like, oh, no. And it's like those slight moments where you say something and then you get a different perspective on it. Like as soon as it happens, and you're like, fuck. I hate doing self improvement. It's the worst. Like, I love me a good old kitchen witch. Not you don't have to be old. You can be young with your tatas springed in the air and shooting Pikachus out. I don't care. But I love me a kitchen witch. Just for the reason being, I couldn't I can't bake a loaf of bread to save my fucking life. For me, it's I am too submissive. Well, that's not a bad thing. There's always a purpose for submissive, dom, and switch. Me personally, I'm a switch personality. Depends on the day. Some days I want to rule everything, and other days I just want to be a cuddle ball of fluff. A kitchen witch is one that uses herbs and makes food and puts all of their magic into the food to make their outcome what they want. Now, one of the things I always do, and I make sure my daughter does it, is one, make everything with love. Don't ever cook when you're angry because one, it won't ever taste good, and two, it never works out. If you're wanting to bring in good things, you always go clockwise. If you want to get rid of something, you always go counterclockwise. So if there's a cousin that you don't like and you're making them cookies, go counterclockwise when you stir that shit. Just saying. Could you just imagine though? You need a little Pikachu costume. But yeah, I love cookies. I can do cookies, I can do cakes, I can do muffins, and all that fun jazz. But you give me a loaf of bread or a biscuit, I'm fucked. And it's so horrible because I love biscuits and I love bread, but I suck at making either one. I'm just saying. Um, then you got if you drop a pinch of salt and that whole thing. Um, Olive oil, which is really funny. I think it's funny at least. Like I look back on some of the things that my family would cook and some of the things they would use, like olive oil. Like towards the end, my mom was like Christian, but she loved using olive oil as an anointing. And the day that I bestowed upon her the information that it was a Greek thing, she's like, "No, it ain't." I was like, "Yeah, it is." So she ended up going to church and talking to a preacher, and they were like, "Yeah, it came from the Greeks." Like we got a lot of Italian and Appalachian witchcraft that I didn't notice, and I don't think my family even knew. But the more that I learn, the more I see it, present. Let me cook a big ass meal stirring the opposite way then. You can. And there's also, well, here's another good thing about this is kind of like herbalism and kitchen witchery at its best. There are herbs that cannot be detected during a certain event in someone's afterlife that deals on this realm of investing. Figure it out. That's all I'm saying. Yeah, it was fun. My mom was a hoot. It's really funny looking back because at one point in time, I went to all these churches and I was always trying to get my mom to go to church and she never wanted to go to church. And then towards the end of her life, she was trying to get me to go to church and I wouldn't go to church. So it's kind of like the roles reversed in a weird way. I'm not saying that's the case, Gabrielle. I'm just saying there's things herbs can do that some people can't figure out what they do because it leads to natural events in someone's life. And that's how it looks. So I'm nor saying no. I'm going to say no to that. I'm going to say no. So take it as you will. I don't know about that, but I think you should figure it out. But should you? Probably not. It's not as easy to get away with than it was in the old days. My computer is so gross. So, when you wear a hat, Miss Gabrielle, then would you become Detective Pikachu? With a trench coat and a hat? We all have our list. We're just waiting for the afterlife. What a Hamish. I don't know what a Hamish is, but Hamish it may be. Love that you are different. Love without condition. And be vigilant. I shall. My guides wish me to know that. It shall be done. You say cloaked Pikachu? Detective Pikachu. And his little Pika Pika. I want to find my familiar. My spell book had a ritual to find a familiar. You know what you could do if you're looking to find a familiar, as in someone that lives within your home, is put it into the universe what you're wanting. Exactly what you're wanting. And I would be specific. That's the only thing that I have issues with energy magic. If I don't put everything into a T as to what I'm manifesting, it's kind of like working with a djinn. I get everything, and then there's that one thing that just makes it crumble. So if you do that, be specific. Or you could do get a local listing of animal shelters, print out the papers of them shelters. Don't even look at the site, just print out their information. Excuse me. Print out their information, take a pendulum, circle it around them, and whichever direction it goes in, follow. So, like, let's say you got 5, right? 5 in your area. And let's say it's going either left, right, up, down, wherever. Wherever that pendulum's going towards the most is where you need to find your familiar at. I guarantee you'll end up finding one. I think birds were mine for some reason. They loved me for real. Familiar is an animal that has been with you forever and works with you. Here's a fun fact I can actually impart on you today. If you work with Hecate, did you know that you get your own demon spirit? Yeah, that's a thing. I call them demon spirit because they're more of a darkling than they are more of a light being. But I found that out upon some research after, I think it was last December. I kept on seeing some little dark fairies in my home, along with some other things. Yes, ma'am. Hecate. Every time I hear it's pronounced Hecate, it makes me feel like they're trying to say, like cottage cheese or something, and they're just saying it wrong. It just doesn't sound right. You're not spiritually stupid. You're just spiritually aware enough to ask questions. I didn't need to go somewhere they acted so protective. When I didn't need to go somewhere, they acted so protective. Then again, yours might just, if you're really attached to birds, you just might be in nature. Wherever you go, whatever bird that you tend to see the most is the one that follows you. Because, see, familiars don't have to technically live with you to be your familiar. Like the cat outside that we got, I'm saying it's our familiar because she won't leave. I would love my own personal demon. Ooh, when I get a chance, I get that. Don't feel bad, Gabrielle. I'm also learning. Yeah. Apparently, with Hecate, after you work with her for, I guess, years or you're dedicated, you get um these dark guides, supposedly, that she will bestow upon you to kind of help you in your journey, to protect you when you're venturing off. Um, which, in perspective, it's nuts. But when you start dealing with things that are a little bit darker, you can't put the human aspect on them, and you can't treat them like they're there to rip your soul out. Like, I know there are some things out there, and I do acknowledge the fact that there are demons and spirits and entities out there that are malicious and have no good intent. But from all the ones I met, they're not as bad as what some would make you believe that they are. It's kind of like having that one friend that you know you can't take around other people, but you know that their heart's in a good place. It's kind of like that, um, in a way. It's like I was talking to my husband last night because we got on the discussion of this channel, you guys, and I also was talking about uh, learning different things. And I'm like, I know when I get on here and I say, I actually care about you guys and it's nice talking to you. And I'm like, this was during my lovey dovey stage from an herbal persuasion. But I'm like, they're just so awesome. And I'm like, it's like a connection that you hear about but you never really see. And they're good people. It's just they each have their own issues that they're all going through. And it's like I feel like I'm able to guide them. Actually, I did mention you during the live, you little butt, yesterday, because I was like, I'm surprised that she didn't come up in the live. I even told my husband, I'm like, she's a sweet little thing, and her mom's protective of her, which can't be joking. But well, you may be joking, but I'm not joking because there's people that stand out and situations that stand out. Each person that is in here now has had a situation that has stood out in my mind. There was another point to this story, but I can't remember what exactly it was. There was a whole reason telling this. It'll come to me though, in due time. That's how I see it. Spiritual guide of sorts. Fuckery and all. That's what I tried. I swear I smell chicken. Your spirit guide has a thing for chicken. Every time we cook in this house, it just seeps through the walls. and then you smell it for days. And it's going to be the good chicken. He's frying it in a pan. I can tell by the smell. How you feel like you are guiding us? You are not chicken. My hubby's making chicken. I can smell it. When it comes to guiding people, I don't mind it. I feel like it's part of my path anyway. It's kind of one of the devotions that I made. I like to guide people, but it's also nice to have a connection with the people that you guide. Like with you and anyone who comes in here asking questions. Anybody can ask questions. But you'll notice, like, with certain, like, you're asking questions on a broad spectrum, not just on a, well, thanks for the answer and talk to you later type. Aww. Thank you. I would cry. But then I would have dark circles, even worse. That's what I'm saying. Like, some people are just, it's interesting to meet people. Oh, y'all too sweet. By the way, for anybody who comes in and was wanting a reading, you can. We're just having a circle jerk of love and emotion. So if you're into that kind of thing, comment below. Tell us you want a reading. Or journ in. Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, it's a journey, and we should help each other. Someone may know something more than the next, and that's what it's about. Besides, virgin sacrifices are hard to come by. Elizabeth. How are you, Elizabeth? So, Elizabeth, I don't remember seeing your name. I might have had you in here before. Is this your first live? Oh my God. TikTok drama. I haven't been on TikTok. Tired and you. I am awake and willing, as always. TikTok, I've kind of slowed down on some of the stuff that I post there, just for the reason being, it's always some kind of drama, like you said. Like, someone's always trying to start some shit, or you get these big witch talkers, which honestly, I'm really starting to think some of these people who got like almost 250,000 or 500,000 didn't really earn those. Those are paid followers. I'm really starting to believe it, because you don't really see hardly anybody on their lives, or it's just a bunch of BS. You know what I mean? Like, and I even feel like I've kind of been blackballed a little bit in the TikTok witch community. So that's kind of why I don't really say much. Either that, or they're afraid of me because of who I follow. But who knows? Oh, Elizabeth, what do we got for you, my dear? All right, Elizabeth, we have 5 cards. You get 1 card for free. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Also, by the way, we have $20 30-minute readings and our $5 for 2 questions. At this point, I don't even think they're hexing each other. I just think it's something to say. It's like hexing is the new code word for witch talk. Which card do you want, Elizabeth? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Blackballed means that your views are being suppressed, and you're not being as pushed by the witch talk community as other witch talkers. Like, there was people who started after me who have gained way more people than I have, and I've been in it longer. Now, maybe it's because I'm not putting out content of a certain kind. I don't know. But I try to stay real more than I try to fit into the norm. Elizabeth, you've lost a connection somewhere, and this is one that kind of goes within your family. I don't know if it's something that you've been searching for and just haven't found, or maybe you had some family issues that distanced you. But that's what I'm getting through with this card. Feels like not being able to speak one's mind or having a certain rhetoric crammed down your throat in a way, because that's what it feels like. Feels like not being able to be who you are and say what you want to say without someone getting super defensive. Yeah, fuck that. Do you? No one should have to deal with that, especially under the circumstances. Grown people should know what they're doing. Y'all take care and stay humble. Same with you, Smith. I wish you well, dear. Much love to you, beauty. Yes, I do, my dear. Normally, when that happens, it either means I need to reach out to them because they got something going on, or it means that they are thinking of me and they're going to be reaching out soon. That's normally what it means for me. Whether it means that for you, I don't know. I may just be one of those random people, but excuse me. Hearing that is making me tear up. Well, hopefully, tearing up in a good way, not a bad way, but as a specific person. Well, that's what I'm saying. Normally, when I'm thinking about a specific person that either I haven't talked to or I haven't seen in a while, or there was no reason for them to be in my mind, it's because they're either going to come talk to me or I'm going to end up talking to them or I need to talk to them for some reason. And my friends hate when I do that. I love it. They're like, you always know. And I'm like, well, comes with the life. You befriended a witch, that's what you get. So much love, so much hearts. Well, a good person always wants to make sure that the people that they once cared about are doing good. You just gotta kind of let it go and I'm gonna do something real quick. Stop moving. Well, I don't think it's you being cocky. I mean, if you feel it, then it's something to go on. A witch's feeling is one of the most powerful tools a witch has. So if it's something that you feel, then it is something that is being received. Energy can be sent and energy can be received. And if you're receiving something, there's a reason behind it. Okay, that was random. When's your birthday? Before I go, I miss putting dream of me spells on my ex. Ooh, you did it or you're wanting to do it? Oh, you're a Christmas Eve baby. You'll probably be seeing me cook, but I can do a little bit of reading in between. Ooh, we could all wear pajamas. I was wanting to wear my little cat onesie today, but the hubby did drywall in it for some reason. I think it's because I made it wear him for Halloween. Yeah, we can do that. I got to prep dinner. I don't even know what I'm going to make yet. Like, I've been trying to debate because I want to do something like somewhat traditional, but I kind of just want to be easy about it. Like, I went so overboard on Thanksgiving because I always make extra for a fucking army. Well, a lot of people didn't show up that I expected to show up, which made me waste money because I wasted food and I couldn't donate the food to a shelter because of COVID. And yeah, so I'm trying to do something that tastes good, is holiday and festive, which normally I always have to do a Christmas roast because I made the mistake of one time singing about a Christmas roast, and now it's been a tradition for some reason. And so I got to figure out what else I'm going to make because I want to try something new. So thanks for the reminder that I need to figure out my recipes. If anybody's got any holiday recipes that they want to impart, I'm willing to take. There was an Italian donut I was thinking about making, but I think I'm going to cheat and just buy the Munchkin donuts from Dunkin' Donuts and do it. Because I've never made puff pastries in my life. I'm going to look that up right now while I got you on here. And I'm going to check that out. That actually looks really good. Grilled chicken, Goya. Onions, tomatoes. So is it like something that the chicken gets marinated in? Because I'm seeing quite a few recipes like Suzanne. Is it like a green looking recipe? It's a chicken stew. See, that's why I needed somebody because my computer is about to die. Give me one moment. It's something like an orange chicken. By the way, for anybody who's looking for a reading, all you got to do is just comment. Yeah, because I'm like at 6% and I'm like, oh shit. I wish I could share videos with you guys, like actual images as I'm searching for different stuff. Maybe this is it. It looks good though.
I'm busy. I'm busy.
Busy. She is busy. She has been taken over. Hurry up. Plug her in. Wow. Thank you.
Yep. No plug.
Good luck.
No plug. Plug down. Plug on.
So I see one. Let's see what it is. It's like a coriander, Nito mixture something, garlic, cilantro, extra virgin olive oil, all-purpose seasoning, oregano, cumin, and hot pepper flakes. Is that it? Well, no, but it's something to try. I mean, if I like it, because we like spicy food. Well, me and my daughter do. My other daughter and my husband are like, ugh, they're children. If you do email me, do it here. Last thing, when I touched people, they had pumps, sores, or bruises. It really healed them. Then putting my hand over it. Honest truth. Scared me, but I love how. I mean, it's possible. There's always been stories around about people being able to heal other people with just their hand. That's kind of like a healing witch kind of thing, you know what I mean? So it's not something that's unheard of. I mean, nowadays it's rare, and the ones who can do it don't really talk about it. And yeah, if you want a card, yeah, just let me know. Others. But yeah, all I would say is just watch who you tell because some people will use you. Other than that, I don't think you got nothing to worry about. All right. I haven't ever really used Goya products, but I heard that they're decent. How would one know if they were meant to be a healer? Well, if you're meant to be a healer, normally you would have an affinity for herbs and loving to learn about herbs. You'd be one who loves to make tinctures and oils, salves. You would feel a need to be more of a naturalist than taking over the counter medication. You would have had some instances in your life where you would have done some type of healing on someone and it gave you some kind of joy within your life. Didn't Goya have like this big controversy a while back? Something with where their money was going for. Like, honestly, at this point, everybody's money is going to something that we may not appreciate. But I can't remember what it was about. There's one of those recipes I want to make. It's a Mexican dish, I think. And it's like this beef that is like soaked in the sauce, almost like a soup in a way. And you take the meat out, but you dunk the tortilla in. I really want to try that. Well, that's what I'm saying. Sometimes energy, that's a part of energy magic right there. Exactly what you're doing. Taking an energy from a candle and putting it into a dog. What were you wanting or reading for, Gabrielle? Trump endorsement. Well, it didn't work, so you know what that means. Hey, Adriana! I have not seen you in a while. How the hell have you been? Oh, shit. See what you did? I cast healing spells. I've been. I was wondering about my job. Me too. I'm new to your channel. I'm great, thanks. Well, then there's somebody else with Adriana. Because that's not the first time I've seen that name. All right. Gabriella, go ahead, pick you a card, baby. And then Elizabeth, if you have specific questions, you can donate to my Cash App. It's the same as the channel. It's 2 questions for $5 or $20 for a half an hour. 3. Right now, you're dealing with a lot of loss instead of gain. Maybe you're not gaining the things that you want out of life and you're trying to make up for it, but it seems like you need to change your perspective. For anyone else who's wanting a general reading, let me know. If you're wanting questions, it is $5 for 2 questions, or you can get a whole 30 minutes for $20. Are you doing readings for free or is it donation only? I have questions. Well, for questions, okay, so you get 1 card for free. It's not going to go for any question that it may go for your question. I don't know, to be honest. It's whatever the cards want to bring. But for you to ask a specific question and get the answer to that question, it's $5 for 2 questions, $20 for a half an hour, and you get to ask as many questions as you want. Or get a full reading. It's up to you. That's weird. I feel like I'm content in my life. Maybe it's my subconscious. And maybe the things that you feel like you're being held back. Like there was a few times that you've mentioned in the lives that, you know, there's certain things you can't do because your mom won't let you or somebody won't let you. Maybe it's the feeling of you want to have more control over your life, but right now you haven't gained that control. So just give it time. And yeah. So if you're wanting questions, that's my Cash App name. So you can either get questions or you can get the 30-minute reading or you can do the 1 card draw. It's just really up to you on what you want to do. There's a 1 card draw I offer for free because it just helps people out who ain't able to afford a reading. Plus, if you get the 1 card draw or if you get a paid readings, you get more entries into a drawing, which is going to be held on the 21st. But I might end up moving the 21st to the 24th since we're going to be doing a live that day. Just kind of make a thing out of it. We're making dishes, doing readings, doing a drawing, make a whole thing out of it. Not a problem, my dear. So here's the thing. We got 2 cards I pulled out for you, Adriana. So you get to choose 1 or 2. So we got the card of abundance, which means if you're looking for extra money, it's going to come your way. If you are planning to try to get a promotion at work, you've been approved for it. So whatever it is, there's something to deal with money and gain and quite a bit of an abundance. So that's pretty good, if you ask me. By the way, for anybody who's coming in, if you've never had a reading, all you got to do is just comment. If you have a certain question that you want to ask, for $5, you get 2 questions, or for $20, you get a 30-minute reading. Anybody who comes in does get a 1 card reading for free. and your name gets put into the drawing. Do 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 do. Writing on the wall. Do 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 do. Do 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 do. The moon card can mean a couple different things, and it also depends on the position that it was laid. Now, some people like to read just regular, like how it shows up, and some don't like to read reverse. So that just depends on yourself. But normally, the moon is associated with psychic powers, intuition, nighttime magic. Can be connected to the moon goddess. It can be connected to your emotions, and it can also be connected to things going on at night. Maybe there's some secrecy being hidden from you. It could be a lack of knowledge. It just really depends on which way that it landed and the vibe and what's currently going on. I don't know why some don't read the reverse cards. I guess it's just like dinner, a preference. To me, that's like, thank you. That looks amazing balls. It's actual fried chicken.
Yeah. It turned out crispy. I ran out of oil and tried to bake them, and
It's all right.
but it's done.
But like, to me, it just seems like they don't want to acknowledge the negative. Maybe that's not right. I don't know. Like me personally, I've always been reading both ways. I know a few people who don't, but I say it like this: you got to take the good with the bad. And if some people they're like, I just don't understand why I didn't see this coming, and I'm like, you never read the reverse cards. They're trying to tell you. Yeah, he made fried chicken, and I'm like, ah. Now, the Fool is good if it's actually in its regular position. If it's reversed, or at least the way I do it, if it's reversed, that means that you're not ready to journey on and you're still doing the old same shit. But if you go forward, then you're going to have the card of the Fool in the right position. I know I've been thinking about jumping off here and maybe watching a movie or something. So that's what I'll do. I'll jump off here. I'm going to watch a movie. If I do come live tomorrow, it may be earlier than normal. It'll probably be around 2 or 3. If I'm not on around 2 or 3, I totally am. If I'm not on around 2 or 3, I'll probably be on around 7, which is a little bit later than normal. But, hey, you know. Either way, glad I could tempt you with the chicken. It's been a great read. I'm going to eat, watch a show, get some sleep. Hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. Bye, guys. Thank you. Much love, chicken grease.